All right, you guys. So let's just settle and take a step inwards. We're so happy to be distracted by anything on the outside. But now as we are just sort of heading our way towards our pillows and our bed and dreamland, it's just time to peel ourselves away from our devices and turn the mind inward so we can just rest a little. So if you are sitting at your computer, feet flat on the floor, and really try and feel the soles of the feet on the ground, in your shoes, your slippers, whatever it is you're wearing. And be sitting on top of your sits bones, shoulders are aligned with the hips, and the ears aligned with your shoulders. Take a nice deep breath and imagine your spine as a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just imagine lengthening your spine. Just 1 second. We'll just grow taller. So this is just a great position to meditate in, except it's good also not to make too much effort, just to be relaxed, focused, and present. So I started my teacher accreditation for this Tai Chi Chair practice that I've been doing, and the person who's leading it today talked about being present being a superpower. So we're turning up to be present for ourselves this evening. We're being present for one another and for all the people of our life. So just go to the crown of the head and relax the scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, back of the head. Relax the jaw, the temples, the back of the neck, shoulders and shoulder blades drop down. Relax the throat, the chest, the belly, and all of your limbs. Bring the mind to the breath, and as you're bringing the mind to the breath, just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. That just passes in and out through the nostrils. Or you can also notice the rising and the falling of the belly or of the chest. And just notice if there's any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there, trying not to follow them with the mind. And then notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. And try not to judge what's arising, or perhaps try not to make up a story. Just know that however it is you're turning up this evening, it's totally fine. And just put ourselves on the bank of the river, and as we're just being aware, we're watching that river in our mind. So take note of the quality of the water. And then just know that while you're sitting on the bank of the river, you're free from that river. So bring to mind some people of your life. So your loved ones, these people that we have, very deep and profound relationships with. Then there's those people in our life who maybe we don't like so much. And then there's our strangers. Keep in mind, they're all going to change place at any time, or they could. Maybe they don't. But due to this nature of impermanence, this world that we live in, it's likely. This ebb and flow of life. Each person has their own individual karmic path. So whether we are moving along in a parallel path or whether sometimes these paths just veer off one to one direction, one to the other. And they're all equal, these people, however we feel about them, they're all equal in their wish to be happy, their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life and by extension, all sentient beings. So remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we're creating negativity with our mind. This is where it starts, in our head. So equally, we can change that by creating positivity instead. So this action we're doing this evening, this purification practice, this is a really virtuous and positive action that we're taking. It's like we're counteracting. We're learning how to counteract our negative thoughts. And not only are we learning to counteract our negative thoughts, we're learning to, once we've identified them, we're learning how to deal with them, counteract them, and stabilize a new way of being. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we will experience. So it makes logical sense to pull out the karmic seeds, to remove them before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, rather than some kind of higher power that's going to fix everything for us. So we're the ones who's going to do the work here. But meanwhile, we need to sort of, part of this practice is visualization, the visualization of this being, this holy being. So you imagine something similar to this Vajrasattva image in front of you. So as much detail as you can manage above the crown of your head. But the most important thing is to feel the presence of this healing energy, this compassionate, loving, non-judgmental energy above the crown of your head. So this Buddha is made of this blissful, radiant white light. He's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He has a beautiful radiant face, and his eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So everybody, can you please go ahead and mute yourselves? There is someone there not muted. So let's just now think about developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginning this time. And then think of those who have harmed you, and we'll have compassion for them because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine doing this practice of purification. So we start with the body, and imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body and fills you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasedi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa sedi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa sedi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa sedi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa sedi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa sedi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa sedi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying, and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. So be just so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. So next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So just imagine you're walking into a pitch black room, you flick on the switch, and that light instantly dispels the darkness. So just as the light hits your heart chakra from Vajrasattva's heart, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all the attachment and neediness and anger and depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, grudges, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And imagine now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And so this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahompe. So feel that you are completely purified, and just imagine there's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. So even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of the resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process, and a really crucial one. And this is the determination to not harm with your body, speech, and mind. to at least think about refraining from that. And without this determination, without making a decision of some kind, we're just not going to do anything. So we want to go to the kitchen and make a cup of hot water. We actually have to decide that we want to do that in order for that to happen. So you can think of something that it is you would like to work on, some habit you might have that you know is harmful for others and yourself. And first of all, rejoice in the progress that you have been making over the past, for some of you, almost 3 years. And for some who've joined much just recently, again, just rejoice in your effort for showing up. I mean, for some people, just even getting your face on screen, getting yourself online, took huge effort. So anything after that's just a bonus. So just rejoice in that, if that's where you are tonight. So let's imagine that Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And just think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, a little bit about emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. And in this way, we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created by doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So there we are, precious teachers. So if His Holiness the Dalai Lama is one of your teachers, make strong prayers for His Holiness to live very, very long, to have a long life, to continue to be able to teach and advise, and all of his projects be successful, and then swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's. And I know Annie Naung Samten is working very hard up there in Laudo. She's building a stupa. She's having pujas done for Lama Zopa Rinpoche's swift return. And some of you may know Venerable Angie from when she was at the Tupten Noble Ling Center many years ago. So Venerable Angie's up there in Laudo right now, and she went to visit the Oracle Lake, which is even higher above where Lama Zopa Rinpoche was actually born. So I was going to say to her, go ask the lake where Rinpoche is and tell us. But I don't know that. I think that takes special qualities. Not that Angie doesn't have special qualities, but anyway, I think it takes a certain level of insight to be able to see. But apparently, they calling it the Oracle Lake. I think it actually has another name, but it's a place of pilgrimage for people. But I don't know if any of you remember in Kundun, one of the ways that they were determining where His Holiness' reincarnation was they went to a lake and they did some kind of divination. So anyway, I guess there are those lakes that do exist. All right. And then for anyone else who has teachers that, Geshe Shera, Venerable Rabina, whoever your teachers are, they may not even be in our lineage. So just wish for them to have a long life. They may be your yoga teacher. So if they're helping you in any way, if they're helping others in any way, wish for them to have a long and a healthy life. Okay, everybody, lots of love. You people on the East Coast, go to bed now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, bye. Good night, everyone. Thanks for hosting. Bye-bye.